Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and I have my first full page layout besides the opening page that I had shown before, and I'm going to be using Ali Edwards Story Stamp for to make this page. So I have another video that I kind of explain what I'm going to be doing with this 8.5 by 11 album that I'm going to be doing, and basically focusing on stories and using Ali Edwards Story Stamp subscription to really help me to get my stories, chosen, what I want to tell, and documented. So this is going to be the first full page in my album, and I am using this big 8 by 10 picture of my husband and I. This is right before he went to basic training for the military. So this was in 2002. And this was taken on the beach in Pensacola where we met. We met in college there. And I'm keeping it very simple because it's an 8.5 by 11 page and I'm using an 8 by 10 picture. Like that takes up a whole lot of real estate there. So I actually did cut the picture down a little bit, just a little bit from the top, just some of the blue that, isn't really necessary. I didn't cut off any, anything from us, but some of the background didn't really need to be there. So I cut it down a tiny bit. But the background paper is by Studio Calico. And then all the other embellishments that I'm using on this page, besides that flare badge there, all of that is from the Heidi Swapp Project Life Gold little kind of an add-on kit that I got at Michael's. So I am using, the prompt stamp that I'm using is Love You Because, which I stamped right there on that white piece of cardstock, and I'm using the Hero Arts blue ink in Pool. It's a mid-tone ink, and it's stamped beautifully. So that's going to be the starting off for my journaling. I'm going to do a list journaling on that little Project Life card there. And I really wanted to bring in the gold because I'm super into gold right now. And when I knew I wanted to use that love piece from the Heidi Swapp kit, and that was the only thing I had in mind when I started pulling things out. And then I saw so many other things in there. I was like, why don't I just use, everything from this? So I did. I pulled out the card. I pulled out that heart. There's a little date thing there. And so I just kind of pulled a few things here and there. And I didn't want to go overboard on the embellishments for sure, just because I didn't want to clutter up everything, especially with such a big picture. So this layout came together really quickly for me. I think I got it done in like 25 minutes maybe. So nice and quick. So I'm using Pop Dots to put this love chipboard piece on there, because I'm layering it over the heart, so it needs to stand up a little bit more since they're both chipboard. And it fits perfectly right up there. I'm going to use, these are little triangles I'm using them as kind of photo corners. They don't fit perfectly, but it's just a cute little touch. And I'm happy with it. So I'm going to write, do I write the date? No, actually I was going to try to stamp the date, but I didn't have a date stamp that goes back to the year 2002. So, and I don't know the exact date. It was just, I know I wrote June on here. It wasn't in June. So I actually end up going back after I had already made the page off camera. I went back and I changed it, and you'll see those in the close-ups. But I don't know why I put June. Honestly, this was not in June because he was at basic training in June. So I think it was in May. It was right before he left, so it's probably in May because he left at the end of May that year. So, whoops. But I go back and fix it. So I used that Project Life card there. It says Noted on it, and it's all gold foil. It's gorgeous. And I used those little gold dots were in the kit as well. They were just, in there. So I pulled out enough to put one on each line, and I'm going to do kind of bullet journaling or list journaling about reasons why I love my husband. And I am not only, I want to make sure I write exactly what I want to, and I'm also watching Criminal Minds. But I realized I just wrote, "You are an amazing father." And I thought about it for a little bit because he wasn't a father when we took this picture. He's a father now, but in 2002, you know, we didn't have kids before we got married. So, but I'm writing as how we are now versus how we were back then. So I kind of had to think about it. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of strange. So what I decided to do was I am going to put the date on that little date thing up there, but I'm also going to write on the bottom of this, journaled on, and then the date for when I journaled it. That way it's kind of like, okay, so she journaled it on September 22nd, 2014, but the picture was taken in May of 2002. So that kind of helps differentiate it, because I didn't, you know, want people down the line to see the page and go, I didn't think they had kids back then. No, we didn't, but we do now. So, and, you know, him being an amazing father is one reason, you know, that I love him so much. So I didn't want to leave that off. So that's kind of how I kind of cleared up that. And then at the end, the very last one that I wrote on there, right above the star, it says, "You make me a better person." But I wanted to use that anchor, and I rethought it and decided, and I had gotten out the anchor because I was going to write, "You anchor me," and then use the anchor, but then I didn't write that when I was writing my journaling, so I was kind of like, what do I do? So I kind of moved the anchor around a little bit just to see if maybe I could put it somewhere else, but it wasn't really working anywhere else for me. So I'm going to go back in and write, "You anchor me," on a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to layer that, I'm going to cover up what I wrote on the bottom there, and then put the badge next to it. So it actually works because it's almost like I'm highlighting that part, you know, because it's in white instead of, you know, right on the thing. So I really actually like the way it turned out. So I had to cover up a couple mistakes on this one. And then I put the anchor right next to it, so it, you know, so I really do like the way that ended up turning out. So happy mistake. And that is going to be my layout, and I used letter stickers there to cover up the date mistake that I made on the bottom. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will talk to you again real soon. Bye.